Think you're too old to start farming or gardening? You're right. Wait, what? Now, Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your own perception is everything, guys. If this is your first time here, my name's Cody, and I run a small-scale commercial produce farm here in West Michigan, i.e. large market garden. And we're going into our third season, and I couldn't be more excited. I was actually going to take you guys out and do some planting with me today, but, well, it's February here in Michigan, and it's doing this outside. So, I thought I'd sit down, have a cup of coffee, and some real talk with you guys. So a little over a week ago, I just turned 45, and it actually got me thinking about the topic for this video. Because I know when I started farming commercially about 3 years ago, and even now when I run into people that I haven't seen in a while, they'll think I'm a little crazy for actually getting into farming at this stage in my life. You know, and you may have been thinking the same thing if you wanted to start farming or even getting into gardening, right? I know I did. I remember times before getting started, I'd think to myself, am I too old? Am I out of shape? Man, I've got injuries, bad back, bad knees. Are there even enough years left to build on to start something? What if I fail? Now, I don't know about you, but I thought about all those things when I started. And it doesn't matter if you're thinking about starting a farm commercially, just starting to grow things on your homestead, or just grow things on your patio, right? If you're just wanting to become a gardener for the first time, we all have the same thoughts. It's normal. So in this video, I'm actually going to tackle each one of those items a little bit and maybe flip them on their head, give you a little bit of encouragement and motivation to say, hey, I can do this too. But before that, we just got some breaking news. Right there. Did you guys know 9 out of 10 viewers smash the like button and subscribe after seeing a couple of goats? Now, as we get older, we all know that we should be living and eating a little bit healthier. Now, we've already went over the excuses, the reasons we tell ourselves we can't do this. Why don't we talk about the reasons we can? Now, as far as am I too old? Hell no, I'm not too old, and neither are you. Now, I know plenty of people with 20, even 30 years ahead of me yet, right? That are still going strong, growing food, feeding people, and could probably outwork most 20-year-olds that I know right now, in all honesty. Okay? Age is just a number, guys. We're really only as old as we tell ourselves we are, right? All in all, because you got to remember, a body in motion stays in motion. So farming and gardening, that tackles both, right? It's built-in exercise right along with growing the healthiest, cleanest, most nutritious food you're going to find on the planet. I'm not even joking. I am in way better shape now than I was 3 years ago before I started. Before I started, I was in real estate and in the banking industry and sales and marketing for 15 years. And although I still did work here on the homestead, I was a little soft, right? And I was dealing with injuries from my youth. I was a little crazy when I was younger. So, I had some back injuries and some knee injuries. But what I found is, through the exercise of farming, I was able to strengthen the muscles in my back, which actually held the joints together better. Same with my legs. I know it sounds crazy, but you're not doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again like a robot, so you're not wearing your stuff out. And because you're doing so many different things, you're working out your entire body. So, no, you're not too old and you're not too out of shape. You can go at your own pace, and there's a lot of things you can do. And one benefit we have, I will say this, is that because of the life experience we've had, we maybe have learned how to work smarter rather than harder, right? So we can do things that'll make things easier on us. The first thing I like to do, whether you're gardening or farming, is build a setup that's right for you. I go with 30-inch beds, standardized, because it's good for business, but more importantly, it's good ergonomically. I can get down, reach across the entire bed without stretching, right? Without overextending my back. I can straddle the bed without overextending my hips. There's a lot of benefits, and there's a lot of things that you can do to set up your farm or garden to suit you. Even if that means maybe building raised beds so you don't have to bend over at all, right? Building beds on tables, and growing food up there so you don't have to bend over if for some reason you can't. I just believe that you can build a setup that's right for you. The other thing that we can do these days to make life easy on us, at least a little easier, is using efficiency tools, right? And I'm not talking about going out and buying a $10,000 tractor, but there are a lot of tools that make things easier for us. For instance, long-handled tools for weeding, so I don't have to bend over and pull out the weeds. I can use my stirrup hoe or my collinear hoe and just stand up and do it. For planting 400 heads in a bed, there's a thing called paper pot transplanter, which we're going to be utilizing that this year, just to make things easier on us, to make the job go faster and not overwork our bodies, right? So there's definitely things that you can do to make it easier on you, to utilize the tools at hand, to make it doable, even if I'm not as quick as I used to be. Another question I had was, do I have enough time? Well, if you think about it, even now at 45, I've still got a good 20 years for a strong business, right? If I want to retire at 65, which I probably won't be able to at that point, they'll bump me to 67 or 70, but point is, there's enough time yet for a whole career there, okay? So you have plenty of time, and I would say regardless of what age you are, you have plenty of time, because a market garden is something that you could start and year one, depending on how you go about it, be profitable, okay? So it doesn't take a lot of money to get started. That's another reason people have is their thought that it has to cost a lot of money to start a garden or even to start a market garden, right, as a business. It does not have to cost a lot of money. When I started this farm, and now it's still, we went into it refusing to go into debt for it, right? So any tools that we buy, we're not taking out a loan for. We're bootstrapping everything. So you don't have to start with a lot. I mean, we literally started, I think, at the beginning of year one with a rake and a shovel. Yeah, a rake and a shovel. So it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot to get a few seeds in the ground. Okay, so from a cost standpoint, it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. You can spend an arm and a leg, but it does not have to cost an arm and a leg just to get started, to see if you like it, to have fun. And there's plenty of time to build a business, no doubt. The other thing you'll find is that a farm business actually adds value to the community. Growing food and feeding people, people support it, people get around it. So it's definitely something that the community will support if you're adding value to the community. And the last big one that usually holds everybody up is the what if I fail, right? Well, here's the thing. You're gonna. And the way to get around that is to plan for it. I plan for crop failure because I know not every single seed that I start is going to make it to harvest, right? So as long as you know that, it's not a big deal. This isn't a win or lose situation. It's a win or learn situation, to be honest with you, because everything that you learn from any quote unquote failures this season, you can take into next season to add to your successes. So in conclusion, no, you are not too old to start farming or gardening, and neither am I. And if that's something you are thinking about doing this year, I encourage you to do so. I am very passionate about growing food and feeding people and helping people do the same. So start small, figure out what works for you, give it a try. Let's grow together. Now, if you want to know how I do my crop planning for the market garden, check out this video here and make sure you smash the like button on the way out. We'll see you on the next one.